Hello, it's James Gregory here, and this is Grappeller training video level 2. It's a great day for grappling, and here we are with Greg and Ann, and we're going to show you some advanced grappling techniques, and Greg is also going to show us how to deal with newbies and being the newbie for the purposes of this video. Alright, just a review of what gear is needed for grappling. A pair of hiking boots, leather palm gloves, certified helmet, mountaineering grade rope, and of course, a grappler available only at grappeller.com. Let's get started. Start with the anchor, of course. Choose a good solid tree at the top of a rock face. And the protocol with grappling is the person who rigs the rope is the first person down. Check that anchor, nice, solid, and secure. And don't forget to take the two loose ends of the rope and tie them together in a double overhanded knot, just like we showed you in Grappeller training video level 1. Rope coming down, let everybody know what you're doing, no surprises in grappling. Alright, we're putting ourselves on rope here. Notice no friction device other than a locking carabiner, very simple system. And once you're on rope and once the carabiner is locked, pulling on the rope below the biner provides the friction. Okay, when you're working with newbies, make sure before you send them over the rock face that their gear is secure and in order. Especially check that biner. Oops, lock it up. Very important. Okay, Ann, you're good to go. Now, form is important, and there are a few basic guidelines for grappling. One is keep your feet wide apart. The other is lean far back. Lean back further than your mind is telling you is right. And there's some good reasons for this. That's because conditions are not always optimal. And if you're not leaning far back, if your feet are not wide apart, you're going to slip and you come banging against the rock face. Notice Ann is in the classical position as far as her hands are concerned. One hand back, one hand forward. I'm going to get her to stop here and show you that stable tripod that is created when your feet are wide apart, when your legs are straight and locked, and you're leaning far back. Nice and stable, keeps your feet against the rock face. Now, with newbies, Grappeller offers the feature of being able to belay a newbie from below. So a seasoned grappler holds the rope loosely in their hands, and should the newbie get into trouble, by pulling on the rope, you can now control their descent and lower them safely. Once they get back into control, they can take over the descent themselves. Very important safety feature with Grappeller. Now, I also recommend that in the case of working with newbies that you put them on a double wrap starting right from the top. So instead of a single wrap that we showed you, you simply add a second wrap on the biner. And what this does is it adds significantly to the amount of friction that the biner provides. It means you don't have to pull as much on the rope and the descent is much slower. Now you can also do what Greg is doing here and add that double wrap halfway down a rock face as long as you're standing in a secure area. And the reason you would do that is if you were approaching a steeper section and wanted to add extra friction. This is something that Grappeller offers that no other rappelling alternative offers. The key is only do this switch over when you're standing at a secure spot. Grappeller offers a wide variety of hand grips, unlike conventional rappelling system. So here's classic, hand on the hip, one hand forward. And Greg has then moved to two hands forward, and I recommend this for newbies. And also on very steep rock faces because you can support your weight better with two hands forward. Whatever feels comfortable. And talking about that, there's always Australian style. Try this with conventional rappelling gear, switching directions halfway down a rock face. The key is always at least one hand on the rope. Good day, mate. Now, when putting away the rope, newbies tend to coil a rope, but coiling introduces twists, and the end result is a rat's nest of snarls and kinks and knots. And the next time you go to get the rope, it'll take you long minutes to get it smooth, or you end up throwing a rat's nest down the rock face. Now, what we recommend is laying the rope. This is a technique we've learned from the firefighters. I'm going to slow this down to show you that we're not coiling, we're looping. First in one direction, and in the other. The end result is a beautiful rope. You take that little tail there, wrap it around a couple of times, and you're good to go the next time you need the rope, and it's going to come out smoothly and quickly. Okay, just a review, and this is especially for working with newbies. Whoever rigs the rope is the first person down. Before you send a newbie over the rock face, check their gear, especially to make sure that locking carabiner is locked. Make sure that you belay newbies from below to add that extra level of security, but only pull on the rope should they get into an emergency. And finally, I can't emphasize enough the importance of good communication. Let people know when the rope is coming down, when you're on rope, when you're putting somebody on belay, and finally, when you're at the bottom of the hill, bottom of the rock face, and you're unclipped from the rope, let people know up above that you are off rope. Coming up next is Grappeller training video level 3, in which we deal with some advanced grappling techniques, such as winter grappling. Who would have thought that grappling in the snow and ice would be so much fun? How to deal with vertical rock faces. And grappling from trees, which I think has the potential to become a whole new sport unto itself. This is James Gregory of Grappeller.com, reminding you that when you're grappling, have fun and be safe. And remember that with a grappler, anything is possible.